is the door from which we came in, and the second one is the door on my left-hand side. Here at the refinery, we have 3 emergency alarms. The first one is the emergency alarm that has 10-second modulations for 5 minutes. The second is the end of emergency that has a continued tone for 30 seconds. And the third one is the evacuation alarm that is a continued tone for 5 minutes. Our emergency number is 97777. Again, 97777. This is where are we located. It's just a demonstration of the nearest meeting point. Please follow some safety rules while passing our operation area. Follow all the rules, notice, regulations, and operating procedures. Do not take any risks. The following items are strictly forbidden inside the refinery danger zone: matches, lighter devices which could cause sparks, firearms, cameras, and mobile phones. Whenever asked to perform a task, always request the corresponding work permission. Never use petroleum products for cleaning purposes. It is prohibited to handle machines and equipment for which you have not been properly trained or do not have necessary authorization. Always wear an appropriate safety outfit and use the protective gear best suited for a particular working environment or type of job. Secure yourself with a safety harness when performing at more than 2 meters above the ground. Do not park your vehicle next to a fire hydrant, above a manhole cover, or where it could block an emergency exit. Advise immediately your supervisor, and the maximum speed limit inside the refinery is 30 kilometers per hour. To ensure an uninterrupted meeting, we kindly ask you to turn your phones into silent mode. From my part, this is everything, and I wish you all a nice meeting. Thank you.
Now, I'll let you with the welcome session with Mr. Minister.
Your Excellency, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Hassan. President, before I start my speech, I would like to say one of the few words I still remember from my very good time in Tanzania. I spent 4 years working in Tanzania, and I always remember the hospitality and all I learned about Tanzania, and hope to thank the people of Tanzania for all the nice time I have in Tanzania. So, President, karibu. Your Excellency, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellencies, members of the President Delegation, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor that we extend our welcome to Your Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and your delegation on this visit to the Luanda refinery, an important asset for the Republic of Angola. The story of the Angolan oil and gas industry began in 1916, with exploratory studies being carried out, with the first oil production occurring in the 1950s. During this period, the Luanda refinery was built and over the years benefited from several revampings and upgrades to remain functional within the parameters required by the industry. At the time of national independence in 1975, Angola produced about 175,000 barrels per day. With the creation of the national oil company Sonangol in 1976, a set of measures was adopted to keep the oil sector functional and attract investments. As a result of several investments, in August 2008, the national oil production reached an average of 2 million barrels of oil per day. Since then, the Angolan economy has been supported mainly by oil production, which today represents about 95% of export earnings, about 30% of gross domestic product, and about 60% of the fiscal revenue of the country. However, the global economic crisis in 2014 and indigenous factors retracted investment in the industry, which combined with the natural decline of the fields caused a considerable decrease in oil production. In 2017, the government led by His Excellency President João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço initiated a set of legal, fiscal and organizational reforms that resulted in the creation of the National Agency of Petroleum, Gas and Biofuels, National Concessionaire and Regulator for the Upstream, and the Regulatory Institute of Petroleum Derivatives Regulator for the Downstream. With these reforms, Sonangol began to dedicate itself to its core business, that is the exploration, production of oil and gas, refining, distribution and marketing of all derivative products. Most recently, the company added to its portfolio the renewables and critical minerals for the energy transition, becoming a true energy company. Among the main legal instruments approved, we highlighted the Presidential Legislative Decree that establishes the legal regime on additional exploration activities in the development areas of oil concession, the Presidential Legislative Decree that defines the incentives and the procedure for the adequacy of the contractual and fiscal terms applicable to qualify the marginal areas, the Presidential Legislative Decree that establishes the legal and tax regime applicable to the activities of prospecting, exploration, evaluation, development, production and sale of natural gas. This last decree is bearing fruits. We have implemented a new gas consortium composed by the main international oil companies operating in Angola and Sonangol, with the objective of developing non-associated gas projects, some of those discovered some time ago while in searching for oil. The primary objective of the new gas consortium is to guarantee the continuous supply of gas to the Angolan LNG facility and the combined cycle thermal power plant in Soyo municipality, and to support the implementation of other industrial projects such as petrochemicals, fertilizers, steel mills. Last December, our government approved a natural gas master plan that defines the basis for leveraging Angola's natural gas resources in order to create jobs and generating revenues to the state. Excellency President, ladies and gentlemen, our main challenge today is the oil production decline, and to mitigate this our government has approved, that is why our government approved several instruments such as the 2019-2025 binding strategy for new oil concessions, which aims to award at least 50 new blocks, with about 40 blocks having been awarded to date. The 5-year hydrocarbon exploration strategy, which aims to boost and intensify the replenishment of reserves. The permanent offer regime for oil blocks that allow the permanent promotion and negotiation of unawarded auctioned blocks, free areas in concession blocks, and concession assigned to the national concessionaire. The incremental production legislative decree aiming to negotiate new fiscal terms on producing blocks to unlock extra reserves. Those measures taken by the Angolan executive are now having a positive effect with implementation of several projects that will contribute to the stabilization of the oil production in the short, medium and long term. The Angolan oil industry is robust, consisting of several essential assets for this industry. However, with the aim of making it more competitive, sustainable and resilient, the government has approved several programs and projects for the development of new infrastructures, both for up and downstream. To support the upstream activities, both public and private investments and facilities were built along the years. A good example of these are the Malongo, Kiwanda and Sonil's logistic bases built in Cabinda, Soyo and Luanda respectively. These bases provide support to all the clients and projects being developed in Angola and have spare capacity to provide as well support to the neighbor countries such as Namibia, Congo and DRC. Other important infrastructures were built by joint public-private investments, such as the fabrication yards of Petromar in Ambris, Sonamet in Lubito, and Paenal in Porto Ambuim. These yards have the technical capability and human resource to build the most complex equipment and subsea structures to support the drilling and production of oil and gas, such as jackets, topsides, manifolds. On the downstream side, for the natural gas sector, we have a comprehensive system for the use of gas associated with oil production, namely the Angola LNG project, a plant with the capacity to produce 5 million metric tons per year of LNG, and the Falcon project, a gas reception and distribution facility located in the municipality of Soyo. These facilities not just provide the means to export the gas used to the flared, but also allow to send gas to the Soyo combined cycle central that produce 750 megawatts of electricity. Furthermore, the new gas consortium has started development of Quiluma Maboqueiro, its first non-associated gas project, and is building new facilities near the Falcon project to collect and treat the referred gas prior to sending it to the LNG plant for exportation. For the storage segment of oil refined products, Angola has an installed capacity of more than 1.5 million cubic meters, with emphasis on the Barra do Dande Ocean Terminal recently inaugurated. Other storage facilities are located in different parts of the country, especially in the provinces located along the coast, to optimize the distribution of oil derivatives. Angola, despite being an oil production country, imports about 70% of its diesel and gasoline needs. To reserve this situation, the Angola government approved a refining strategy that includes the construction of 3 new refineries, namely in Cabinda, Soyo and Lubito, with capacities to process 60,000, 100,000 and 200,000 barrels of oil per day, respectively. When completed and in operation, these refineries will make Angola self-sufficient in petroleum products and will be able to export surplus production. The first phase of the Cabinda refinery is expected to be inaugurated during the second half of 2025, and the Lubito refinery, owned by Sonangol, has started construction work, and we are looking for investors and partners who would like to join Sonangol. It is our objective to build petrochemical plants near or as part of the new refineries. The government of Angola understands the seriousness of the global climate crisis and is taking measures to mitigate the challenge posed by increasing temperatures caused by greenhouse gas emissions. we are committed to ensuring that our oil and gas activities are carried out in a sustainable manner while taking into account the need to ensure the industrialization of our nation and well-being of our population. It is our objective that all new oil and gas facilities incorporate equipment and processes that privilege the reduction of emissions. As an example, the Agogo FPSO, built by Azule Energy, is the world's first green FPSO vessel, incorporating carbon capture and storage capabilities aimed at significantly reducing the amount of CO2 emitted. Sonangol, in partnership with INAI, has built a 25-megawatt photovoltaic plant in Karakulu in the province of Namib, and in association with Total Energy, is developing a similar project with 100-megawatt capacity in Kilemba in the province of Huila. Additionally, Sonangol has established a partnership with German companies to develop a green hydrogen production project to contribute to the diversification and sustainability of its business portfolio, as well as promoting the country's social and economical development in the renewable energy sector. Moreover, Sonangol was instructed to develop biofuels projects and, given its proven financial viability, build a biorefinery. Other oil companies, such as Eni, are also developing biofuel projects. To support those projects, the Angolan government is putting together its biofuel strategy and correspondent legal framework. The aim is to have this approved during the upcoming months. Excellency, to support the exploration and production of oil and gas, and also for the mining sector, Angola has developed internal capacities for training of excellence for professionals at basic, medium, and higher level, just as the Angolan Maritime Training Center, the National Institute of Petroleum, where I come from, the Higher Polytechnic Institute for Technologies and Sciences, the Training Center in Diamond Cutting and Evaluation. A special attention is being given to technical and scientific research and development, and the Sonangol Research and Development Center is being installed in the seat of Sumbe, oriented to the oil and gas sector, renewable energies, and critical minerals for the transition and energy security. In order to guarantee that oil industry serves the interests of the Angolan population, since 1976, several legal instruments have been approved to ensure the inclusion of young and experienced Angolan citizens in all ranks of the oil companies. The above-mentioned training facilities, with special highlight to the National Institute of Petroleum, contribute to the achievement of this objective. In 2020, a presidential decree on local content was approved. This decree combines in a single document different past legal instruments and procedures, defines the rules of the participation of Angolan nationals and the provision of services and goods by the Angolan companies in the oil and gas sector. One important rule of this decree is the definition of three different regimes regulate the contracting of Angolan companies, namely the exclusivity regime, the preferential and the concurrential regimes. Therefore, the national concessionaire every year publishes a list of services that are exclusive for indigenous companies. It is our desire to implement the Memorandum of Understanding signed between our countries in the mine and petroleum fields, and we would like to present our pre-availability to share our knowledge and experience in the exploration and production of oil, gas, and other mineral resources. Reciprocally, we would like to obtain from the sister Republic of Tanzania knowledge and experience in the mineral resources sector with emphasis on gold. To this end, allow me to invite my Tanzanian counterparts in the oil and mining sector to visit Angola as soon as possible. On the 3rd and 4th of September this year, we'll organize here in Luanda the 6th Oil and Gas Conference and Exhibition, and eventually it would be a good opportunity for my Tanzanian counterparts to make this visit. Your Excellency, we would like to take this opportunity to invite the United Republic of Tanzania to become a shareholder in the Lobito refinery, which, with its capacity to process 200,000 barrels of crude oil per day, can also serve other sub-Saharan countries. The Lobito refinery is under construction, and currently Sonangol is the sole investor in this refinery, and they supported all the costs related to the economical feasibility study, the FEED done by KBR, one American company. The licensing of the equipment is signed already in an engineering, procurement and construction contract with a Chinese company, which is already working in the refinery site located in the city of Lobito, along with a civil work company that is building the supporting infrastructure and facilities. Therefore, new investors that decide to join the project are required to acknowledge the initial investment made by Sonangol and accept the actual FEED results and concept being implemented. For this purpose, we have documentation of the project available and will be given to your delegation. Even we brought already an NDA document to be signed by representative of delegation. We really would like to have Tanzania join the project with a shareholder. Other countries in the region already say they will join that project. We would like to have the Lobito refinery not only as one Angolan project, but one SADC project, one African project. Please join our project. To conclude, once again, I thank you, Your Excellency, and your delegation for the visit. Asante sana.
So, with your permission, let me introduce you the Luanda refinery. We have a plant that transforms crude oil into refined products. Sorry about that. The Luanda refinery is a plant that transforms crude oil into refined products. It was inaugurated in May the 3rd, 1958. At the time, we had a capacity to process 2,000 barrels per day. Here you can see a little of our story. We started in 1958. We were very, very shy with one. So, the Luanda refinery is a plant that transforms crude oil into refined products. It was inaugurated in May the 3rd, 1958. At the time, we have a capacity to process 2,000 barrels per day. Here you can see our trajectory. The production capacity over the years increased from 100,000 till 3 million per year. It corresponds to 65,000 barrels per day. Here you can see our configuration. We are talking about an hydroskimming refinery. So we have 3 CDUs crude distillation units, and 3 conversion units. You have the platforming, the Parisome, and the naphtha HDT. So here you can see our market share. We are self-reliant in terms of jet fuel, kerosene, and fuel oil. Here you can see in terms of metric tons our production per year. Our storage capacity is about 580,000 cubic meters. We have 7 tanks for the crude oil and 40 tanks for the refined products. With the gasoline production increase project, we have the production capacity 4 times more. So we increased from 3 to 12,000 per day. With that, we had a reduction in terms of the imports. That means that the gasoline was reduced around 35% percentage of importation, sorry. And the emissions was also reduced. So the reduction by 67% of the fuel oil consumption, and we achieve the elimination of need to import the hydrogen as well. So now we can see a small video that will explain our new gasoline complex. Thank you.
Sejam bem-vindos ao novo complexo de produção de gasolina da refinaria de Luanda. A refinaria de Luanda é uma unidade que transforma petróleo bruto em produtos derivados e foi inaugurada no dia 3 de maio de 1958, na altura com uma capacidade de processar 2.000 barris por dia e apenas produzia diariamente 48.000 litros de gasolina. Ao longo dos anos foi sofrendo várias ampliações para o aumento de capacidade de processamento, tipo e qualidade de produtos, de modos a atender às necessidades do mercado, sendo que as últimas remodelações ocorreram em 1999, onde foi concluído o projeto de remodelação da atual unidade de reforma catalítica, aumentando a capacidade de produção de gasolina final para 395.000 litros por dia. E em 2004, a remodelação de torres de destilação, aumentando a capacidade de processamento de petróleo bruto para os atuais 65.000 barris por dia. Atualmente, a refinaria de Luanda entrega ao mercado gás butano, gasolina, Jet 1, querosene como petróleo iluminante, gasóleo, fuel óleo e asfalto. Atende em 100% as necessidades do país em Jet 1, combustível para aviação, petróleo iluminante e fuel óleo para as cimenteiras. Projeto de aumento da capacidade de produção de gasolina. O projeto, que faz parte do Plano de Desenvolvimento Nacional 2018-2022, Programa 2.3.9, Desenvolvimento e Consolidação da Fileira do Petróleo e Gás, através do aumento da capacidade nacional de refinação, visa a instalação de um novo complexo de produção de gasolina constituído por uma unidade de hidrotratamento de nafta com a capacidade de 1.500 toneladas por dia. Uma unidade de reforma catalítica, platforming, com a capacidade de 1.100 toneladas por dia. Utilidades com torre de água de arrefecimento, produção de ar comprimido e azoto. Um facho e um sistema de armazenagem de hidrogênio. O projeto, avaliado em cerca de 235 milhões de dólares, custeado a 100% pela Luanda-Angola, desenvolvido em cooperação com a Eni e executado pela empresa KT, teve início em junho de 2019 com as fases de engenharia e aprovisionamento. E em janeiro de 2020 deu-se início aos trabalhos de construção. Durante a fase de construção foram trabalhadas mais de 3 milhões de horas sem acidentes, Passaram pelo projeto mais de 2.700 trabalhadores, dos quais cerca de 1.900 nacionais, tendo o pico de mão de obra atingido 1.300 trabalhadores. Foram movimentados mais de 15 mil metros cúbicos de terra, betonados mais de 64 mil metros cúbicos em fundações e pavimentos, instaladas 3 mil toneladas de estruturas metálicas, tubagens e suportes, 120 equipamentos e 160 quilómetros de cabos. O projeto trará vários benefícios operacionais e ambientais, tais como incremento da produção de gás butano em 28 toneladas métricas por dia, equivalente a 2.500 botijas, e a produção de hidrogênio cerca de 5 toneladas por hora, que servirá para o consumo interno e geração de energias limpas, substituindo a queima de nafta para a geração de energia elétrica na central de ciclo combinado e a queima de fuel-óleo para a geração de energia térmica nas fornalhas, reduzindo deste modo não só a queima de gás no facho, mas também as emissões de gases nocivos para a atmosfera. O novo complexo está totalmente integrado ao aparelho refinador, que é 100% gerido e operado por jovens quadros angolanos. Após a entrada em operação, para além de melhorar a qualidade da gasolina, vai permitir o aumento da capacidade de produção em 4 vezes mais, ou seja, 1.580.000 litros por dia, o que contribuirá para a redução em cerca de 15% do ónus de importação anual de combustíveis. Refinaria de Luanda. Unidade de Negócio de Refinação e Petroquímica, Sonangol. Governo de Angola.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite you to have now the visit on the field, just for you to have an idea how we work here in the refinery. So, thank you.
Se afirma nas palavras, palavras que se precipitam no todo.
Yeah. Exatamente. Exatamente, estava aqui a fazer referência de que começou esta visita de campo A Presidente da República Unida da Tanzânia foi há instantes convidada exatamente para andar aqui por este perímetro da refinaria de Luanda, depois de termos aqui testemunhado um ato mais formal, onde teve a intervenção do Ministro dos Recursos Minerais, Petróleo e Gás, que dirigiu-se aos presentes em inglês, mostrando exatamente a trajetória da refinaria de Luanda, os seus desafios, as transformações pelas quais passou e também apresentando exatamente as áreas que estão disponíveis para a incorporação daquilo que foi acordado no memorando de entendimento de cooperação entre os dois países. Estamos a falar da refinaria de Luanda, que em 2002 viu a sua capacidade aumentada com a entrada em funcionamento do novo complexo. E aqui lembrar que foi exibido um vídeo exatamente para mostrar esta infraestrutura de refinação de petróleo, uma infraestrutura com importância sem igual em Angola, numa altura exatamente que as delegações então